As many of you know, my ministry began in California, so a lot of our longest community members are from California. And with that said, the Sophia Code movement grew as an international movement overnight. It literally became an international phenomenon within 4 days of the book being released, and it's remained so, and we're really proud of that. Not from the ego place, but from a place of like, we're just so excited to be reaching that many hearts and minds worldwide. And so we're really grateful that you're here with us today. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Kaia. I am the international bestselling author of the Sophia Code, which is a divine feminine sacred text for our times. And we've been diving into what's called the Keycode 5 initiation of the Sophia Code, this initiation with the Ascended Master Mary Magdalene, who is walking us through the aspects of our higher self in this initiation. Hi, Starla. Good to see you. Hi, Chantel. And just what kind of resources, inner resources that we can access within us when we allow ourselves to step into a higher self, a daily higher self embodiment practice. So that's a little bit of what we're doing here. We do hang out for the first few minutes and wait for everybody to kind of get online, let those notification bells go off. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, sorry, I got this. There we go. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please be sure to do that. But not just that, hit that little bell in the right corner of the screen, because that's gonna let you know whenever I'm live and it's not a scheduled live event. So for example, after these 9 days of Magdalene, my ability, both with my from my schedule for the rest of this month, is going to be limited. And so I will be getting on to YouTube Live. And you'll always know, because if you click on that bell, you'll receive a notification when I do go live. So that's an important little piece for you if you'd like to stay in touch over the month of May. We also have the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective coming up on the 3rd Sunday of May. And if you'd like to receive the email information for how to join us live for the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, hi. Cosmic Sunrise says she's so happy to catch us live. Oh, we're so glad that you're here. We're so happy that you're here. And yeah, just get on our mailing list. We have so many new programs that we're going to be launching in the middle of this year, as well as in next year. We have our live event, Sedona. We have a lot of announcements coming up for Sedona. So, and there's still time to join us for our 2020 Vision Mentor Journey. So if you'd like to reach out and stay up to date with those notifications, please be sure to get on our mailing list at kaira.com. So keep in mind, third Sunday of the month, Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, we have hundreds of people gather with us live, and all sorts of miraculous things occur when we pray together. That's been a free ministerial offering that I have offered for, at this point, 6 years. And I rolled it into what's called the Sophia Code Foundation, which is a nonprofit entity that I founded it about 2 years ago. The Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective is our main outreach for that ministry, but it's just the beginning of what we want to do with our nonprofit. Ultimately, we want to build Divine Feminine Christ temples, as well as the Magdalene Healing Center, and we've been receiving donations and just very patiently kind of building up that nest egg to put a deposit down on a property someday to build this temple from the ground up for our Divine Feminine Christ movement. And I'm really excited that dream is going to be actualized. It will happen. It will come true, because we're all going to do it together. And so that's a little bit about what we've been up to. For those of you who do want to keep receiving at this level, I usually teach about 2.5 hours per mentor journey twice a month. So if you'd like to be a part of the silver Dragon Journey or the Golden Dragon Journey, mentor journey this year, feel free to reach out to Ashley or Megan. They're in the live chat feed. They're our team angels. And they're also here to answer any questions that you have about anything that comes up during this live broadcast. And they're here as moderators so that, we just never know who's going to show up in this space. And this is a sacred space. And we believe that as we broadcast live with these teachings, that we are helping create a more sacred, a model of sacred behavior for social media. It's like, that's what you also experience in our community forum on Facebook and in our private forums for the Mystery School. You get to experience what it's like to step into an online sacred space that's actually moderated by people who are initiating these teachings and can make, help make judgment calls that are for the greatest, highest, and best good of everyone in our community. So if perchance you happen to put in something in a comment and you just perchance it happens to disappear by accident, just know that it might have happened in the scuffle of, things can happen really fast on social media. And so when our team angels are doing their best to kick somebody out who's being very disrespectful, sometimes a couple of comments in addition might disappear in that scramble to get that person to move on and prosper elsewhere. So thank you for your understanding that our team angels are always doing the very best they can to maintain this space as a place of respect and healthy community gathering space. So I'm just really happy that I'm seeing so many people, so many of our community members popping on. I'm just going to say hi here to Jeanette. And I'm going to say hello to Ted. Ted's in our Silver Dragon Mentor Journey, and he's saying that it's awesome. Saying hi to Lisa, and Lisa says, oh my God, the Silver and Golden Mentor Dragon Journey are so worth it. I love them. Yeah, I'm just so grateful. Thank you for your kind words, Janice. So lovely. Amy said, I wish I had a moderator for my grumpy neighbors. Funny you should say that. I think a lot of people wish that, Amy. I love that. I love that because in truth, we do have a moderator in life, and those moderators are the ascended masters, and the archangels. They really can, and your higher self, they really can come in and create miracles that just seem impossible any other way to get through to people. So very often, if I'm finding myself in a situation with some challenging situation, it just seems like a certain level of diplomacy is just not getting through, and I'm at a loss of how to negotiate or navigate further. Very often what I'll do is I'll call upon my higher self, and I'll call upon the higher self of that person, and I'll see what can be negotiated from there, or I'll work with the ascended masters to see, are they open to this divine intervention? And there may be parts of their consciousness that are, and either way, the ascended masters are going to help you assert your boundaries, which is, what Jesus and Mary Magdalene were doing in their ministry. They were working with their own master teachers and their orders of angels that we still have access to negotiate the fact that everyone that's running around in a human body is, everyone's at a different place in their consciousness, in their evolution, and what does it mean to be respectful to them? What's interesting is our society is not innately based on respect, and we're not raised in a culture of healthy boundaries. We're raised in a global culture of codependency. So this is such an interesting lifetime for all of us, because for those of us who are at the front lines of evolving consciousness, what we're doing is we're literally breaking down centuries upon centuries upon centuries of expectations and judgments and programming and viral thought systems that say, domineering patriarchal control and a society addicted to codependency is somehow still okay. And it's not okay. It's not even close to okay. But every choice that you make, every time you show up authentically in your private personal life, to embody the truth of your sovereignty, to embody the truth of your higher self, to stand in the light and fire of your divinity, and to create a life for you and for your loved ones that's based in respect, that's based in sacred, healthy boundaries, where your heart remains open and co-creative, but you also know where you begin and another person, ends. It's just like, what's you, and what's yours, and what is someone else's. It's like, that's the kind of healthy relating that we need to reboot our society with, that we need to reboot our global culture with. It's like, there's a lot of bad behavior in this world, but most of the bad behavior, not all of it, most of the bad behavior is simply a lack of education. It's a lack of knowledge. It's like people don't even have a knowing system of how to be respectful. And they're just shooting from the hip as far as just reactive behavior, because they were taught from childhood that reactive behavior is the only way anything is done in this world. I've been working a lot with horses and this particular equine therapy model. And it's not just a therapy model, it's a model for understanding leadership through how horses are just as intelligent as human beings. I don't care what anybody says. I feel like most animals are actually more intelligent than human beings, honestly, definitely more emotionally intelligent. And they carry with them this ancient knowledge of how herds, like a group mindset. Before you jump to some conclusion about me using the word herd, I have a whole new respect for that word. Because as I've been immersing myself in the consciousness of horses that live as a herd, what I'm starting to understand is how interdependent they all are, and how clearly they know how to communicate to one another about power dynamics that we as humanity simply have not had the brass to talk about. And we're all suffering because of it. And it's like the emotional somatic intelligence of animals, we could learn a lot from that. And it was definitely, if you look at the ancient mystery school training, that a lot of these masters that we look up to now, they were being trained in specific animal totem medicines that were very, very powerful to teach them about an unapologetic relationship with personal power, such as cobras or lionesses like Sekhmet. It's like they were being trained in these incredibly primordial natural instincts that were being taught to them by these animal guides and totems, for how to trust their own natural instincts. And that's so much of what we're doing in this Divine Feminine Christ movement. We're returning to this innate, natural, somatic intelligence, this emotional intelligence that even if we can't articulate yet, if something feels codependent, it's okay to feel your anger within you, where you're like, something's not right in this relationship. I can't put it into words. I don't necessarily have the ability to articulate that there's an imbalance here, but I'm going to let it be okay that I'm feeling angry about it right now. And why? Because the anger is that first natural communication. It's information. Something's out of balance. When I'm immersed in this herd of horses, if somebody's upset about something, it's not even personal. Like the horse is like, I'm upset about this. And the other horses are like, okay. And then they either like nip at each other about it, or they just back off. They find a way through their body language to be like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go over here. You're going to go over there. We're going to take a breather. And then in that, the herd is these beautiful horse spirits are just showing me like, this is what interdependent sovereignty looks like. Clear communication, clear boundaries. And then when they start working together in their intelligence to inform me or anybody else that I watch and witness them, bringing their medicine to, the medicine of what? Their consciousness, right? Their consciousness speaking to our consciousness. It's like, it's really interesting to see all the different unique roles that each individual horse is playing, so that you can experience the herd as this larger organism of higher intelligence that each of these personalities are contributing to. And so it's important to understand that this is the kind of spiritual maturity that we are being guided into by the Ascended Masters. We are being guided in how to operate, how to function, how to co-create as the one body of Sophia Christ. And the Sophia Dragon Tribe, which is the high council that has brought us the Sophia Code to us, they talk about that as, you could visualize each and every one of us inside this massive golden dragon light body, where all of our golden dragon light bodies can link in to the intelligence of this omniscient intelligence of our collective I am presence, to act as a collective of masters to affect great change on this planet. Great change on this